See, it's a lot of fun doing these. I've done a dozen of them already, and they're a lot of fun when they happen. Some people have liked looking at them, but today I just thought let's hop on. There's nothing going on a Saturday morning, and I thought let's talk about something. The important thing on this is this will go out live on the internet. It's on live on the internet right now.
What?
Yeah, it's on YouTube right now. Though it's one of those things where we don't have everybody in the room right yet, but we'll have it, and we can go back and we can edit it a little bit. We can edit some of the front stuff off. But
That's
I just
cool.
wanted to get. I actually posted something on the Houston Facebook page, so we might get somebody to come in and say hi and talk
Okay.
to us about the club and events and things like that. Um, it's a lot of fun. Now, tell me a little bit about your background with singles and dating. You've worked for some other companies, right?
I did. I started in the dating service industry back in 2000, August of 2000. So this August will be
Oh,
25
nice.
years I'm dating myself. Well, early on a Saturday
Really?
morning, my eye bags are dating me.
I had you. I'm actually way ahead of you on that. So I started in '87 when I was 26.
I
So
know.
if anybody watches and do the math,
It's just crazy.
it was a long time ago. Things were a lot different. No internet.
They were a lot different. There were
It was a
no dating
wilderness.
apps. I was
Nope.
there when they launched, well, not they, but when Match.com came out, when eHarmony came out, Plenty of Fish, all of that. All of that crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
So what did you think the biggest? I mean, because you've been around like me. I've been through all of it. I mean, some of the things I remember at the beginning when I first started Events and Adventures. If you weren't single, if you weren't married, there was something wrong with you. That was
Absolutely.
society's view.
Hmm.
Was like, yeah, you must have done something very, very wrong. And when are you going to get married again? You got like 3 months. You better be married again in 3 months.
Exactly.
Go
The
to church,
time
go
is
to
a
meeting.
ticking. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
100%.
And we looked down on single people. We did. So
It's
I
a
do remember
shame, but
my
luckily it's not like that anymore. When I first started, I started in client services. So I was a matchmaker. I was not a rep for the company at that point. And I would take overflow um, interviews with clients. And then my best friend that was also in the industry, well, we became best friends working together. But she said, you know what, you really should be a rep. You would be good at it. You would do very well for yourself. I think that's your niche is to do that instead of the matchmaking portion of it and taking the feedback. And I was
yeah.
terrified. I was terrified. I was like, oh no, I like my steady paycheck of my $6 an hour or whatever it was. I'm just kidding. But it was
Right.
very scary to do that transition. But once I did, I realized how much I really enjoyed sitting with clients face to face and really delving more into why they were there and what was going on in their past relationships and things of that nature. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
now I'm home.
Right. And it was something you really loved.
I
Let's
love
talk a
it.
little bit
And I
about
can't get
actually
out
what it
of
was
the
like,
industry.
though. Yeah. Um, I remember when I was young. So if you're young, this is an old man thing. If you would have no clue how different society was from the standpoint of I remember being 10, 12, 14, and we only knew one person who was divorced. I had one friend whose mom was a single mother. I didn't know any other single mothers or single fathers. I mean, there weren't single fathers. I mean, it was like, who would do that? There were a couple single mothers you'd hear about them. We only knew one. We only knew one.
Wow.
And of course, my friends and I, anytime we want to do something, get away with something, we went to their house. Um, because she just let him do whatever he wanted. But it was very much you should not be single, and
Yeah.
if you're a single parent, there's something wrong with you. You need to fix that right now. And then it started to change in the late 70s and early 80s. And, you know, I remember still when I started Events and Adventures, if you wanted to meet somebody, there was Great Expectations,
Uh-huh.
there was Together,
Uh-huh.
um, uh, Table for Six started in some places then too. They weren't in Seattle at that point, but I heard that they were in California. And then, or you could put your name in the weekly paper like an escort
Newspaper,
and go, hey,
absolutely.
right? I'm
Like
going to
pina
spend $10,
coladas.
you know, right?
Take
Like
out a
Seattle Weekly
personal
was a big
ad.
thing. Yeah, they got a personal ad, just like that Pina Colada song, right?
Pina coladas or
Yeah,
giving a
the real,
chat line. I mean, those were so sketchy.
yeah, chat line, which was like basically, if people don't know what it was like a group call and a phone call.
Yeah.
You could do that. We're all on there talking over each other, have no idea who anybody
No
is. Hey,
idea.
come meet me
Wait,
out in the
hold on, it's
woods.
call waiting.
Yeah, it was so creepy. And
Totally
so
creepy.
there were those things. So when I started Events and Adventures, I didn't realize how different what we did really was. I mean, I didn't think about it. How in some ways revolutionary the idea was that we're just going to get everybody together, we're going to go out and do things, and we're going to have a great time because we're single,
Yeah.
and it's okay to be single and just enjoy your life. You don't have to be single. Does not necessarily have to be I'm going to get married today and there's something
Yeah.
wrong with me. It was like, you know what? I can have a single lifestyle where I go out and have fun and I meet with other singles and I do things. I'm not the third wheel.
Right.
It's a bunch of unicycles out there, I guess. I don't know, but we're out there together, exploring the world and having fun. No internet. Everything was like a printed calendar and stuff. It was very hard to get information to people. Directions were horrible. Remember how bad directions were?
100%. Or even to the point where
Yeah.
it got a little bit later where you could MapQuest and get directions. You would have to log onto your computer, pull up the map,
Yep.
print out the directions step by
Yeah.
step, and take it with you.
Yeah.
And you're driving, and you're
Are you
like,
sure?
hold
You're not
on,
going to get internet in your car.
hold on. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
on your phone. It
Yeah.
wasn't in your car. It was on a piece of paper that you printed out. And then, inevitably, because I'm blonde, I guess, I would get in the car and I'd be missing a page. I'm like, wait, how did we get from here to here? I think I
Yeah.
missed a turn somewhere. This is crazy.
Yeah. You could get really lost. I remember being in events where like the directions were somehow wrong. I remember being in Eastern Washington once on Memorial Day weekend, and one of the directions was off just one little word, left versus right. So
That's a big word,
on a turn.
Directionville.
Yep. So I sat at that intersection for 3 hours as people going through going, hey, with a sign going, no, no, it's that way, not this way to the park. And it was, oh my gosh, those were the days, right? When you
Yeah.
had to do that and you had to make up with your feet for a lack of internet, a lack of anything like
Yeah.
that. Um, but I mean, everybody loved it. When we got there, it was still amazing. The events were amazing. I do think people were a little bit better at talking then. They
I
were better
don't
at getting to know
disagree
each other because
because,
that's all you
yeah.
did.
I think that we get away from with the social media platforms. I think we get it, I may sound old when I say this too, but I think we get away from really connecting with each other, and it becomes
Yeah,
well, this will be funny if I say this, or this will be clever if I do that, and you're really not engaged. I mean, there's so many friends that I
yeah,
have that are down the street and I never see them. And that's absolutely ridiculous to me. So I recently, in the
yeah,
past few months, really just started reaching out saying, I'd really like to see your face, like in person. I miss your face.
yeah,
So then we started, communicating over Facebook, but making a standing date. Like I have a friend, Johnny, that I've been friends with since, I don't know, the early 90s. And now we hang out every Saturday. I saw him last night. So,
see, there you
and then
go.
we're gonna go back tonight. Every Saturday we do karaoke Well, when I say we, Johnny does karaoke. I sit and I clap. Like, good job.
Me?
Good job, Johnny. But,
There's two different groups. There's singers and audience, right? And
that's so true. He's a drummer, but I mean, he'll get up there and he'll sing, and he keeps putting my name in. So every once in a while, I'll hear my name. Can we get Tracy to the stage? I'm like, well, I don't know who they're.
Tracy who, right?
Is there a Tracy here? Because it's not me.
Yeah, I remember being at a karaoke event in the Minneapolis club. This was right before COVID, actually. It was like the last event before COVID, before we shut down for COVID and went all virtual. And it was funny because COVID was coming, and there was like 70 of us in this room. It was like shoulder to shoulder. Somehow I went to like 6 cities in 6 days. Never got COVID, but anyway, but anyway, we're doing this, and all of a sudden I look up and I see my name on the board as getting ready to sing, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. I need to find out what song this is. So I go up and I talk to the guy and said, I'm not. He goes, I'm not supposed to tell you what the song is. I said, dude, you got to tell me what the song is. He goes, okay, the song is Like a Virgin, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
In my
So
head, it was
I,
Margaritaville. I was like, if he says
right,
Margaritaville, I'm out. Like, I'm gonna fall out of my chair.
I could do
I
Margaritaville. I
totally
could do
thought they
great
would have
Margaritaville.
signed
I
you
could do
up for
good Jimmy
that because
Buffett.
I could see you doing that. So,
I was one of the world's biggest Jimmy Buffett fans for a long time.
yeah, you are a parrot head. I knew it. I could
Yeah,
see it.
back in the day, we did a Jimmy Buffett concert on the Columbia Gorge, and we took buses over there from Seattle. We had margarita machines on the buses, baby.
Oh,
We were
goodness.
By the time we got to the concert, people were three sheets to the wind. But it was
Danger.
a great time. If you're going to go to a Jimmy Buffett concert, that's the way to be, right?
Gotta.
And yeah, no, that was a
I had
really
to
really good
school
time.
my
But
mom. It's been several months, but she went somewhere to a tribute for him, like a tribute show. He had already passed, but
yeah,
so I got on
yeah,
Amazon and I got her some Jimmy Buffett T-shirts. I had to play her some music. She was like,
nice.
"Oh, I didn't realize." I mean, she knew obviously Cheeseburger in Paradise and Margaritaville, but she didn't really, delve into it. I was like, "And if they say this, it
Yeah,
means this, and this is this saying." And she's like, "Well, I had to make sure that my mom didn't look like an idiot while she was there." We got our little
right.
cheeseburger
And I
earrings
remember,
and yeah, the whole nine.
right? When we went to that concert. I remember there was a gal who was had just turned 21 and just joined the club, and she's like, I don't know Jimmy Buffett. I don't care about Jimmy Buffett like that. And I'm like, I mean, you probably have heard some of his songs. And then all night long, she's like, oh, I know that song. Oh, I know that song.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that song. Which is why he had an album called Songs You Know by Heart. And when you look at that, when you listen to that album, you're like, gosh, those songs have been on the radio and on television on
Yep.
forever. Really, they really have become iconic and really like beach party music. He
Yep.
started that. There was nobody was doing it before him, so they all owe him homage, I believe. But yeah, no, that was Events and Adventures has been in some really crazy things. It's not all drinking. It's not all eats and alcohol. Some people are like, ENA stands for eats and alcohol. That's not what it actually stands for. It stands for Events and Adventures. And
Yeah.
we spend a lot more time not drinking than drinking. But when we do have a party, we can throw a party. We
Yeah.
can throw a real party.
I have to tell
So
you, and I may have mentioned this before, but it's just with me, everything is very transparent. It's straight up 100, and I'm not just saying this. But being in the industry for as long as I have, and I was a manager for a while, and I would travel to different offices and different states, and we didn't have or don't have yet, hint, a club in San Antonio, hint, hint. Um,
it's like I want.
but I do know that when I would go to a state or a city where we did have an events and adventures, people when they come in to interview with me and I would ask them, what they knew about the business or whatever, they always shared with me other experiences from other services. And A lot of times it was negative, obviously, because if it worked, they wouldn't be sitting with me.
Yeah.
So that's nothing bashing about
Right. 100%.
any service. Never once, not one time, hand to God, had I ever heard anything bad about events and adventures. So when I was looking,
Yes.
it's true. It's just the honest truth. So when I was looking for a new opportunity, and I saw an ad that you guys were hiring, I didn't walk to the doors. I ran, and I was like, "You guys have to let me in here," because I'd wanted to work here for the longest time, and being in the matchmaking industry, what I literally did was I set people up on blind dates. So I would say,
Yep.
Susie, go meet Bob, and then they're sitting across from each other at a dinner table, lunch table, a coffee, a date, whatever. And Bob's like, I wonder if Susie likes me. And Susie's like, I wonder if Bob likes me. And I should say this and I shouldn't say that. And it was just the two of them. And it's awkward and it's a lot of pressure. And sometimes they get there and they're like, yeah, I would have not picked Bob out of a lineup to go out with. So, I mean, and that happens too. I mean, there has to be chemistry, but I'm not saying anything is bad about that avenue, period. I'm responsible for hundreds, probably thousands of marriages. But the fact
Yeah.
is, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and it's a lot of pressure to make a good impression. So here, when I realized you're out and you're having a great time, and worst case scenario, you go home and you go, oh my God, I had so much fun, I want to do that again. And that's the worst thing that can happen. That's pretty darn good. And the best thing would be you meet somebody that catches your eye romantically, maybe that you're a little attracted to, and see where that goes. So I feel like this place is a win-win, but I also feel like if you're out there having a great time and you're smiling and you're laughing, you become more and more attractive to the other person. So people gravitate towards you. So I'm like, this is a lot more organic and it's definitely more fun than a stuffy dinner date. So that's why I was like, I have to be a part of this club. Even personally,
Not
I'm
100%.
like, come on, open up one in San Antonio. Now, the guy that I'm dating right now might not appreciate that, but I think this
He's
club
like,
is
hey,
amazing, and I know that from feedback from people that I've sat with in the past that have said, you were so right. This is so much fun. Like, take
yeah.
the pressure
No,
off of
it's
dating and get out there and have a good time.
yeah. One of the things we're the opposite of most online dating. Most online dating, it is a blind date, and they're like they're faking you out, pretending it's not a blind
For
date, but it's
sure.
blind dates, right? And marriage interviews, it's a very kind of a impersonal thing, really, and very technical, and not very caring, not very loving, and not very fun. And I think Events and Adventures is the opposite. We take the opposite view. I mean, the way I see it, you are a better judge of who you fit with than I am. So what I
Hmm.
want to do is I want to put you in a place where you can be around a lot of great single people that have already been pre-screened, right? So we're
Right.
going to get the idiots out, got
It's
married
like,
guys
yeah.
pretending they're single. We're going to get rid of all that kind of stuff, and we're going to go someplace fun where you're in a good mood, and you've heard me say a million times, when you relax and have fun, that's when you're most attractive to other
Hmm.
people. So you're out hiking, you're out at a party, you're doing something fun. Everybody is there to meet everybody. So you don't have this, oh gosh, is he going to be okay if I talk with him? He's here to talk with you. That's the reason he came, was
Yeah.
to get to know you.
Yeah.
So you can just walk up and say, hey, how are you doing? I haven't met you yet. What's your name? And the guys are saying that too, right? They're talking to all the women in the club, and we're talking about different subjects. Like I remember, I'm picturing a picnic here in Tampa a couple months ago where we were out, and there's like massive amounts of food, too much food. Everybody brought potluck stuff, and there was like so much food. I could have eaten candy forever. Some people brought their dogs, so the dog owners were kind of all hanging out in one area because you didn't want the dogs and the food. And then everybody else was kind of in this main area by a fire we had set, and we're just talking about different subjects. And I remember walking around, and there was one group that was, talking about the Buccaneers because this was in Tampa Bay, and talking about the game, and then there were some other people talking about the events they've been to, and just random singles things and dating and the problems of dating and that kind of stuff. It's like a YouTube live video every time we're at an event, right? Everybody's going, what's working, what's not, what are the cool events, where are we going to go for the next trip, all that kind of stuff. Because there's a lot of kind of subjects we have in the club that you can, if you don't have a subject, if you're like shy, you have built-in subjects. So what events have you gone to? Have you had fun at the events? What's the next event? If there could be any event,
Yeah.
would you love it? And what would be your bucket list event or your bucket list trip? And then you say it, and somebody goes, "Oh, I did that with Events and Adventures. Like last year, we
Yeah.
went to Machu Picchu. We went to Thailand. We just got back from Thailand. It was absolutely awesome. I always wanted to ride on an elephant, and in Thailand we were riding on an elephant, squirting each other with water. That is fun.
Yeah.
That is like, there's a lot. You have whole years. If you're old like me, I have whole years. I don't remember diddly from the year. When I was 36, I don't know. There's probably something I remember. I don't know. But I remember skydiving. I remember the first time I went whitewater rafting. I remember all these amazing events I've been to over the years. And you make these memories that last forever, doing these cool things that you've always wanted to do. So
Yeah.
I think if you're doing things you remember 10 years from now, you're probably in pretty good shape, right? You're probably doing something that's really
Yeah.
fun. And that happens with Events and Adventures all the time. So it makes all the difference. But I'm going to keep this for a half hour.
Yeah, I
Then
explain
we'll
that
pop
to
back in a
people.
little bit.
Yeah. I explain
We got
that to
about 3
people all the
minutes.
time when I
If you're going to tell anybody anything about the club, what would you tell them in 3 minutes?
if what
What's your
now?
advice to somebody who's checking out? What is your advice to someone who's checking out Events and Adventures? You got 60 seconds. Go.
Um,
Like,
Checking out Events and Adventures. I mean, I just don't feel like you have anything to lose. I mean, it's so much fun. You're in a place where you know that everybody's single, everybody's screened, everybody's qualified. You have folks there that ensure from the club that ensure that you're having a good time, can put you on a team if you need to be teamed up with someone. Why wouldn't you do it? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
agree.
If you don't want to be social, don't come here. If you don't want to have a good time and try new things,
That's
don't
it,
come.
right? If you
There's
don't
a
want to
lot
meet
of
anybody,
things
this
that
is
you
not the
like
place to
to
be.
do
You
now
are going to
that
meet people.
you're like, God, I've always
Yeah.
wanted to go axe throwing. I forgot I wanted to try that. I want to try that. Try it
Right?
with us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's no fun by yourself.
No.
It's amazing the cool things we do that I've gone back and like have had time and I'm going to go axe throwing. I'm going to go axe throwing. Go into a place. You get the axes. You stand there. After like 3 minutes, you're bored. What makes it fun is the people you're there
The
with.
people that you're there
That's
with.
what makes it
You're like, look
100%.
out. I didn't mean to get you. No, I'm just kidding. No.
It's funny because they talk about, it's not the destination, it's the journey. I think more important even, that's the journey is not by yourself. Who you're on the journey with
Yeah, you're
counts.
making memories, like just like you said. So, I mean, I just don't think that people have anything to lose. Unless you're going to stand off in the corner and try to hold up the wall somewhere. I mean, get in the
See,
mix.
you can do that.
Get in the mix
Right.
and meet people because they're all there to meet you.
Thank you for being on here with me. I really
Of
appreciate it. It was
course.
a half hour. We're coming right. We got 30 seconds. 30 seconds. So if you're watching this for the first time, just going, what's Events and Adventures about? Go to eventsandadventures.com. Check us out. We're going to be doing this a lot more. I try to focus on single subjects and dating and things that are going on. Is that's the kind of things I like to talk about on these videos, but also about the experiences of the people on here, and the things that you've gone through, because
Yeah.
you've been there, you've been single, right, going through it, and so you have great experience to tell
It
everybody
can
about.
change
But
your life.
thank you very much,
Absolutely.
and we'll do this again. We
All
will do
right.
it again
Thanks,
later
Mark.
today.
Sounds great.
You bet.